So we're all dog faces, we're all very, very different, but there is one thing that we all have in common. We're mutants. There's something wrong with us, something very, very wrong with us. Something seriously wrong with us.
You're listening to The Mean Geek, comics podcasting on the very ragged, raw, leading edge of friggin' civility. So I guess that leaves us stuck into episode 32 of The Mean Geek, comics podcasting on the edge of civility. Recorded live at Kurt's Comics in Branford, Connecticut. In Connecticut, it's Kurt's. You know, one day I will train my new co-host, Victor WarHammer, to get that little plug in there correctly. But
That's why I let you take the runs with it this time.
I guess I'm just going to have to deal, because, man, you're not working with me.
It's not this. You don't go into the intro the same every time.
Yeah, but once I say in Connecticut, you should be ears pricked up, ready to go. Oh,
I was looking.
It's Kurt's.
There's a little delay. It's the Connecticut.
Put a little bass in
in
there.
Connecticut, and then I'm waiting.
It's Kurt's. And you're not supposed to wait. You're supposed to do it with me.
I was gonna do it with you.
That's the pause. In Connecticut, it's Kurt's. Bing.
And there you go.
I mean, the guy is fucking gracious enough to give us his store when he ain't even here, and no business is actually fucking happening.
Just as a note, I'm making a jack off motion right now.
Wow. He gets free comics for walking around and lifting a couple of boxes here and there.
Don't really do that one. more or less babysitter of the comics.
Wow. I mean, you take in money for the guy.
No, yeah, I love the guy. That was more of a jerk off.
To me?
That sounds weird.
Oh, okay. I see. So you want to be a fucking asshole on the edge of civility.
Exactly. I think if I wasn't being an asshole, that would be the problem.
We actually had a couple of things planned here tonight. We toyed around with things, and I just got too fucking lazy, and I couldn't find what I wanted to find, what I wanted to know about organizations.
Yeah.
I went through the history of AIM, and it was kind of interesting. And I went through the history of Hydra, and it was interesting. And I thought about, all right, well, let's check out Checkmate. And I was bored to fucking tears reading about Checkmate.
I'm so glad you said that, because when you told me to read up a little bit on them, I was like, I'm not going to lie, that was the third time I've ever heard their names uttered. And I started reading about them, and I was like, wow.
Checkmate had their own book in the 90s somewhere. And I remember thinking, ooh, new #1. Interesting organization.
Woo.
Got some spies. I think I'll give it a go. And then I never picked it up, and I never gave a shit about it afterwards.
So you actually were interested in it, and they didn't even manage to draw you in.
No, not even with the first issue.
That's impressive.
It kills me.
That's impressive.
Ugh. And then they got
I think I've
Maxwell
seen
Lord.
you
I don't even know how they got Maxwell Lord in charge of that. Because he was already like a leader in OMAC Project.
And that went to shit.
Well, yeah, because he got his fucking neck snapped.
Well,
but
that never really means too much.
And then I thought, well, since this is boring the shit out of me, of all people, it's clearly not going to make a very good episode.
No.
Because if I'm bored talking, thinking about it, reading about it, how the hell am I going to make it exciting talking about it?
So we present you with.
So
I'm
not done.
I was going to introduce the musical.
Time. Wait, whoa.
Yeah, the Mean Geek comics musical. No? I thought that's what we went with.
See, I want to bust out into a Rodgers and Hammerstein type musical gig right now, but I just can't get the words straight fast enough.
I don't know if I'm happy about that or I'm actually thoroughly disappointed. At the same time,
a geek version of Pirates of Penzance,
That sounds brilliant.
That could be fun.
Yeah.
But no, the thing is, and then I thought, well, crossovers. Nobody ever gets tired about listening to crossovers. So let's talk about crossovers. And I started rereading Crisis on Infinite Earths, and I thought, I already know this story. I don't want to read about it anymore. And I tried to piece together chronologically which ones came when, because I know that Contest of Champions started before Secret Wars, which started before Crisis, which was before Secret Wars 2, which led
How
into
was Secret Wars
Follow the
2, by the
Mutants.
way?
It was kind of dumb.
Okay.
The Beyonder was one of the lamest characters ever.
Oh.
Not talking about the Beyonder. Fuck the Beyonder. The Beyonder's a jackass.
That's why I said, well, could have a podcast about why the Beyonder's a jackass.
We probably could, because we'd go through some issues. Oh, he was so dumb, he didn't understand money, so he turned an entire building into gold for Spider-Man to be rich. That happened, dude. That happened.
God.
And then Spidey walked away with a gold notepad. That was never talked about ever again. But I'm guessing he used it exclusively to buy web fluid.
He probably need to. That question just irks me constantly.
Which question? How he
he
needed web
affords the
fluid?
materials. I mean, that always gets me with every superhero. How do they afford to repeatedly replace their uniforms, their equipment? You know, some heroes are very easily explained. Tony Stark,
Batman. Anyone who was an Avenger got a stipend from the Avengers when they were a pseudo-government agency.
Mm-hmm.
And that was funded by the Maria Stark Foundation anyway.
Oh.
So, but, again, so
Some
I was thinking...
like Spider-Man.
Yeah, well, you know, Spider-Man's a whole nother bag when you talk about any kind of character. But the point being, the next big one that I remember was Fall of the Mutants. And then there was Mutant Massacre. And then that just snowballed into a yearly, let's have the fucking mutants get fucked over again.
I don't think they've really stopped since
No,
then.
they have absolutely not stopped. Every single summer. And most winters.
And the best part is, every time the mutants are like, oh my god, how could this happen?
It's some stupid betrayal, and somebody switches sides, and somebody kind of dies, but not really.
Who could have ever seen this coming? It happened 6 months ago.
And the biggest one that killed me the most, Onslaught.
I knew it.
Onslaught is what stopped me reading X books entirely.
You don't like Charles Xavier being a big like mech?
No,
That's
I
not
don't
cool
like
for you?
Charles Xavier and the
It hurts him to say.
portions of the minds of Charles Xavier and Magneto together in a gestalt entity taking over the fucking universe. Bite me, fanboy.
Yeah.
Actually, you know, that's the only good thing that ever really came out of Lobo.
What's that?
Bite me, fanboy.
Does he frequently refer to his
Well,
fans,
there's
his
this really cool illustration where it's his back, and he's wearing one of those denim jackets with the sleeves ripped off, and this huge patch on the back like they used to have in the 80s.
Uh-huh.
It just says, "Bite me, fanboy."
That's excellent.
Ain't it? And you can actually see that if you head over to, www.themeangeek.com. I have it up there. I have a little copy of it. Probably illegal, but fair use is copyright gain,
Zing, suck it.
So, I said, screw crossovers. I don't want to talk about crossovers. And I came in tonight with absolutely no idea of what I would propose otherwise. So, but in the back of my mind, any episode of this podcast has always been more about what a real conversation between
Geeks,
irritating geeks is like. Because, you
irritated,
can walk in...
irritating geeks.
Yeah.
I like that. It's both.
Well, the tagline I use on thecomicforums.com, where we have our forum, which no one has ever replied to, even though there's 80 entries and
Jackass.
like 1,000 views of the...
Are
Anyway.
you ashamed of yourself? Because you should be. I'm talking to you.
We're not fucking journalists. We're not professional. We're not getting paid for this shit. Nothing that we say isn't going to be expanded upon and gone into with greater depth by people with far larger vocabularies that they use far more efficiently.
Cocksuckers.
This is about what you would find
in your local comic shop.
In a less than civil comic shop, which, by the way, when there's no customers around, is every fucking comic shop.
True.
If you're buds hanging out in a comic shop, you got a bunch of jackasses who swear a lot. Don't fucking lie to me.
I've never walked into a comic shop, I've never been to before and seen the guys sitting around the table playing WarHammer, and I've been like, what the fuck new came out? And they're like, Riley, don't quite talk like that, chap. It's quite unnecessary, don't you think?
It's a bit salty.
I think I would leave that comic shop after burning it.
So we just decided, we're going to rap in any capacity we fucking feel like about villains. It's not a topic that hasn't been gone through before, but this is our take on villains.
Absolutely.
Now, we're not going to start with favorite villains.
No.
We're just going to bang away at any villain you want. Quick, DC villain. Now.
Zod.
Okay, good. Tell me about that nuthatch, General Zod.
Kneel.
What do you...
before
Zod.
I said it before anyone else could say it. There's only two people in this room, and someone else could have clearly said it.
Terrence Stamp. Probably did, he did Chancellor Valorum,
What?
Yes, General Zod was Chancellor Valorum.
I did not catch
Terrence
that.
Stamp. Yep. You didn't know that.
I actually
You're
didn't.
not paying attention.
I guess not. I'm quite terrible with actors and really anyone behind the scenes.
All right, so you start off with a Superman villain. What draws you to Zod?
I really like the regal sense in a villain.
There you go.
I really like that. I like a villain that's not just like some shady little douchebag in his
Shady little douchebag.
in his basement.
I think we just found our episode title. Shady little douchebag.
I don't like some little mousy dude in his basement putzing around with his mom's VCR and like, I'm gonna get you, Spider-Man. No. I want somebody who fucking, when he shows up on the scene, everybody already knows this dude's got some fucking clad iron balls.
All right, well, let's expand upon that. Who has cast iron fucking villain balls? Magneto.
Absolutely.
Dr. Doom.
Absolutely.
When Namor decides he wants to be a bad guy upon occasion, it's fucking the Submariner is just fucking nuts. Lex Luthor.
Absolutely.
Not really the Joker. He's crazy. He's got no bravado. He's got no greater plan. He's a great villain. Don't, think that I'm downing the Joker because, if I had Batman and Joker books for the rest of my life on a desert island, I'd be fucking happy.
Exactly. You wouldn't even need to eat.
Well, no, I'd need to fucking eat.
I think you'd feed off of that.
No, I'd have to go shinnying up the tree for some coconuts, which, with my
Would
fat
be a
ass
sight.
would be quite a feat. But that would be fucking comedy gold right there.
Shimmying. Shimmying is such a good word.
And so give me another one. Magneto is like that.
He really feeds off the regal that I was talking about, because even when he's at his most vulnerable and most absolutely cornered and butt fucked, he's still, everyone is still shit. Like, he could be surrounded by 50 X-Men and the Avengers and fucking anybody, and he's still like, what you got?
Yeah, that's him. You can't say the same about Justin Hammer.
No,
he's just a
no.
jackass
Shady,
industrialist.
Yeah, I was gonna say, for whatever reason, I was gonna try to say Norman Osborn, but I stopped myself because he's not. He's one of those sneakier villains.
Yeah,
he's a man with a plan. He's gonna stay, and the same could possibly be said about Dr. Doom. But when the gloves come off, he's not gonna run away. That's
Doom?
Doom, exactly.
Yeah,
he's got the plan and he's got the balls.
Yes.
Which is what's terrifying about Dr. Doom.
Norman, he's just an arrogant little shit.
Yeah,
He's
what gets
a
him into
crazy, arrogant little shit who, tricked his way into power, which many villains do. Let's not, sugarcoat that part of it. But he doesn't stand above anybody else. He's just
absolutely not.
He's just got some authority, and that's that's good enough for his place in the Marvel universe. But no. You know, more Superman Mongol. No.
No.
He's just a brute.
Yeah.
Who
just
cares?
because the brutes, for whatever reason I've noticed, have always had that, like, when it comes right down to it, they always are kind of a bitch. They
will run away. Mongol has run away.
Yeah.
But then you get guys like, who is that idiot? Like Terra Man. He barely deserves to be called a villain at all, man.
Yeah, I think to be a villain, you need to accomplish at least one feat of villain.
Any villain who's cover bubble says Terra Man says dance partner. You can't take that motherfucker seriously.
No. Not whatsoever.
Now, the thing is, technically, in a very realistic way, Vader is a comic villain.
Oh.
I'm staring at a Purge with him on it right now.
Absolutely.
He's in a comic. He's a villain. Now, if we remove the Hayden Christensen pussy factor...
Absolutely. That's what I do from Vader at all times. Those are two completely separate entities in my mind.
Yes. I liked the way they handled Vader in the Empire book that I got the 3 trades for last week.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't like a lot of else that was going on in Empire.
Was he able to carry it?
Yeah.
That's good.
I don't think I'll be getting number 4 of that trade series, but no, he just stands above everybody else, and he answers to exactly one fucking person, and he knows that's all he answers to. He's still number 2, but he's a number 2 that'll fuck your world up.
Exactly. He's not the sniveling number 2. He's not following
like
around.
Desaad and Darkseid.
Yeah.
Darkseid is another imperialist regal one.
Mm-hmm.
Totally unflappable.
No.
He doesn't even get mad. He occasionally gets irritated and zaps somebody with the Omega beams, but he never gets mad. He's in control.
Yeah.
That planet's fucking
and
his, man.
And that's one of the more terrifying things about a villain.
Yes.
When they're in control of the situation.
Now you turn around, and we were talking about Osborn tricking his way into power, but there's obviously a villain who does nothing but tricks, and he's not even necessarily looking for power all the time. And you're nodding your head, so you must know that it's
Loki.
Ta-da!
One of the most irritating characters, but
not lately. He used to be this little shitbag that would not, and
like more or less he would just be an irritant. His plans really didn't always come through.
Yeah, he just he fucked with somebody because they had already fucked with him, or did something to his dignity, or wounded his pride. But he's never really gone for the power. But he's still smooth. He's a smooth villain.
Slides right in there.
Yeah. And who else does that? Almost nobody.
Yeah,
really.
There's not too many villains that take that role. That I like to fuck with people role. Most villains have some sort of an agenda.
Yes. Even if it's just mayhem.
Yeah. That's still an agenda, and Loki.
But, and speaking of agendas, now you finish this. Loki's got the best story, and I'm gonna let you finish.
Go right ahead.
I figured enough people have worked on that hackneyed premise. I ought to just jump right in the deep end with that one.
Beat that dead horse.
Anyway, finish your sentence.
It's
there.
gone. It is 100% gone.
Well, that's why you suck.
Hey, you went on your tangent.
But the ones with the deep, long plans, and I hate to bring up ex-villains.
Hey, I'd love to bring up ex-villains.
But you must know who I'm talking about then. The 2 really big bads with the incredibly long-term, deep, heavy, convoluted plans.
I'm thinking of one. And
being...
why can I not get his name out of my mouth? He's been fucking with Wolverine for 60 years. Is that one of them?
Really? That long? Apocalypse been fucking with Wolverine that long?
Oh, damn it. Why Apocalypse is... No, because when you said a long, long time, I've been thinking of. I know you're not reading the book. But,
Well, Apocalypse, man, he's like Abdul Abin Sin al Shiraz Sin Shiraz bin Laden Baker. No, he was like in Egypt.
Yeah, he was born in Egypt.
Yeah, see, so he's been around plotting shit for a
3,000
long time. Now the thing is, he's powerful, and he'll fight you, but he's got that long-term plan, and he does have this because he's, at least semi-immortal, if not out and out
immortal,
undying. He's got a bit of a regalistic tendency to him.
Because the thing about Apocalypse is, he doesn't need, the armies and the horsemen.
Oh yeah,
and
he's got plenty of power on his own,
and he always has them. And no matter what happens, he always, when one of his horsemen gets taken out, there's another horseman to replace him, and somebody more badass than the one before. He doesn't just fill it up with somebody.
Right.
And from Apocalypse, I know we were talking about in control, regal type villains, but I have to bring up one of my favorite villains of all time. And I'm really upset that he is currently not among the living.
Really?
But Sabretooth. The sigh makes me think that you are not
Sabretooth.
Sabretooth fan.
When I read my first Sabretooth story as a freshman in high school.
Oh my.
In 1986.
I can see where this is going.
Before you were born.
Yes. This was, in fact, before I was born.
It's not a knock.
It's a fact.
And trust me, I don't want to have to admit that my first Sabretooth story was while I was in high school and you weren't even still fucking around yet. But we thought he was the shit. We could not believe that someone could go that hardcore with Wolverine. And then they gave him a little break, and he came back and what was it, Fall of Mutants, I think, or Mutant Massacre. It doesn't matter. Those stories aren't interchangeable from 25 years later. But I mean, you can look them up if you want. I don't know.
I don't know. I'm wondering by the tone of your voice. Don't know if it's necessary.
No, they're worth reading because some crazy shit happens in there.
Mm-hmm.
No, they're good stories, but this many years later, I regard them as interchangeable and don't really care. So, but where the fuck was I going with that?
You were saying you read your first Sabretooth.
Oh, Sabretooth, yes. And they waited like a year before they brought him back again. And then they brought him back again. And then the 90s hit. And, he's got his own mini. Oh, he's turning good? What the fuck is going on in this book?
Does not belong.
Did not like it.
No, I don't agree with that. Some villains should just stay fucking bad.
Yes, absolutely.
Stay bad.
Right.
Maybe they can, form an alliance with the good guys.
Now, the thing, Magneto went good a couple of times.
Exactly. Some villains are not cut out for it. Magneto, no matter how bad he's claimed to be a villain, from day one, he has had nothing but good intentions. He thoroughly believes in his mind that the only way for mutants to survive, and mutants are his people, is to be the dominant race.
Oh, sure. And to a degree that fits. That's just outright logical. I mean, from an evolutionary standpoint, that's exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Unless, of course, they're exterminated. But, when you kill an island filled with millions of them who can now no longer breed, yeah, you're on the edge. And then the Scarlet Witch comes in and fucks up the rest of them.
Yeah.
So there was supposed to have been only 100 mutants at somewhere after House of M.
Yes. 198 to be exact.
Yeah. Now there's how many in the X as heroes?
Yeah. They all grew up, and every single one of them have aspirations of being superheroes. There wasn't any that are like, I'm going to be a banker.
I would love to see a mutant banker, man.
Me too.
Somebody like Doug Ramsey who can just crunch numbers in his head in like 3 seconds.
Sage just
and they're like, but you're a mutant. You have to be with us. I mean, This is
You
our
guys-
community,
You
and
guys
it's like
need bankers on Nation X.
these loans ain't gonna amortize themselves, motherfucker.
That'd be a great mutant ability.
Amortizing loans.
Yeah. I can do taxes at incredible
I gotta
speeds.
process these incomings. I'm the only one that can do it.
Just see Cyclops out on the field. Number crunch, quick. Do his taxes. He'll never see it coming.
But that was a useless mutant power, man. The ability to translate anything.
Well, you see, that's the result of them saying, hey, instead of making a new character with more fire powers, let's think of something new. Oh, wait, we've done everything.
Yeah, he really shouldn't have been on the team.
No, I cannot think of, a single, general problem where that spot would have been better served by someone else. I mean, someone could have learned any language.
Well, that's the thing. They could use him in very specific circumstances.
Just call him in. Get a
All
teleporter.
right, yeah. Very good point. They had
Like, hey,
many
useless.
ways to get people there. They could have called Gateway.
That's something that I find a little irritating nowadays. How many books are Cloak and Dagger in? Every book where they need some kind of quick transport.
They
show up.
Dark and Mighty and New Avengers for like 6 issues, and I don't know what's happened to them since.
And now they're on the X-Men apparently.
Oh yeah,
Even
they're
though
part
not
of Dark
mutants.
X-Men, aren't they?
No, they were part of Dark X-Men, but they with Emma Frost and Namor broke off from the Dark X-Men and joined the real X-Men. So now the Dark X-Men are a slightly reject team. Except
reject team.
They are led by one of my favorite villains of all time, Mystique.
Oh, Mystique.
I love Mystique.
Mystique is a villain that they have not been able to figure out what precisely they want her to do.
Yeah.
Where she's supposed to fit in, what she's supposed to even be.
The weirdest thing about Mystique is almost all of her loose ends are tied up. She has nothing left to do.
But are they tied up in a worthwhile fashion? Because I saw absolutely no fucking point in making her Nightcrawler's mother. I just thought that was the dumbest thing ever.
And Rogue's mother.
And?
Yeah.
Well, get the fuck out.
Not Rogue's biological mother. She raised Rogue.
Philosophical mother. Okay.
Yeah, she raised Rogue. She pretended to be Rogue. She was Rogue's mother. Rogue did not know that Mystique was her mother until much later, which makes it just seemed so random. I mean, she just so happens to go up against her daughter, who happens to be on the X-Men, who they happen to be opposing.
Well, I mean, coincidence is everything to the X-books.
That's true.
I mean, yeah.
Hey, these two mutant teams just happen to run into each other. Let's fight.
Yeah. So, tell me about another villain you're like. If he's in the book, I'll read it.
Two-Face.
Yeah.
I dig Two-Face. There's something about speaking of Two-Face, and this is a little it's related, but I saw a Good Robot Chicken the other day.
Really?
Where they had Two-Face on it instead of a two-sided coin.
Yeah.
He had a three-sided die.
Oh no.
And it was 1, he kills you. 2, he lets you live. And 3, you go have cupcakes, I believe.
Wait, how do you get a 3-sided die?
I don't know. I think it was a triangle. Even then, that would be 4.
Yes, that would be 4.
That is it.
Which are the most dangerous ones to leave lying around on the floor, by the way.
Yeah. Dungeons and Dragons. It'll kill you.
If it doesn't turn you into a devil worshiper first. But
one or the other.
Two-Faced. Very good.
No problem. You weren't expecting a Batman villain from the Marvel guy.
No, I wasn't.
They're the villains that I have the most exposure to because I mean for obvious reasons I'm not going to mention, but movies.
Oh,
and,
okay.
That's the cringe in most comic.
Yeah,
comic
it sure
books.
is.
But
well,
I actually got
they've done.
I've actually got into it. And read books.
I mean, all right. In Returns,
mm-hmm.
they had the Riddler.
Yes.
Who just wanted to be a thief, by the way. He just wanted to steal shit. and then make people puzzle things out. Ha ha ha! Here's a clue. You never figure it out. I stole $8 bajillion from the Gotham City Bank and Trust.
It doesn't sound that bad when you got crazy murderers running around.
Yeah.
Honestly.
You know, that's all he ever wanted to do. And they turn him into this absolute nuthatch. Let Jim Carrey run ragged on the character. You know, there's never been a brutal Riddler story.
Not really, no.
There's never been a over-the-top, oh my God, he really fucking said that, Riddler story. I mean, unless you're talking about the lameness of the riddles. That's a whole different factor.
That's painful.
But you're like, okay, I mean, that's his shtick. Let him have it.
Yeah, there's only so many riddles.
And then they took Two-Face, and all they did was take the Joker and put different makeup on him.
Absolutely. He acted just like the Joker.
If you put the two together and put him in a purple suit.
Put some Prince music.
And there you go. You got the Joker.
Yeah.
So, anyway. But, yeah, Two-Face. No, I've read lots of great Two-Face stories.
He's one of the very few of the mainstream Batman villains that really get me believing in them. Really get me saying, yeah, I buy it.
Good.
I could see it. Like a lot of the Batman villains, I mean, I like them, and I've read stories with them, but I don't know. At the end of it, I just think there could have been a much easier way of doing that.
Yeah.
There could have been, that doesn't sound like necessarily the best way of doing things. You are a genius billionaire. Why was that the first place you went?
I just got a text from the guy I'm talking to from an hour and 15 minutes ago.
Jesus Christ! What did it walk? Yeah, that's about as far as it would take. I was over about a mile and a half away. If it walks like me.
Oh shit! So
could have hitched a ride in my car and got here faster.
You know who doesn't have a villain that I would consider either in that regal mode that we enjoy so much, or that brutish mode that can get you through a story, or that easygoing Riddler mode?
I don't know where you're going with this. No, I don't.
Now, the Rev will take issue with this because he's got a soft spot for silly villains.
Oh.
But the Rogues Gallery means absolutely nothing to me.
For any character or
for
this character?
Rogues Gallery in capitals.
Okay.
Capital R, capital G.
Okay.
So when you phrase it that way, you can only be talking about Flash.
Mm-hmm.
Professor Zoom? Fuck that jackass.
Professor Zoom. Even that name doesn't.
Well, I mean, it was a '60s name. What do you want? There's nothing you can do. But if we're going to go into how bad the names are, we'll be here till dawn.
That's true.
So we'll forgive bad names for now.
The Wizard.
Paste Pot Pete.
Arm fall off, lad.
T.O. Morrow.
Touche. Game over.
T.O. Morrow ends every conversation, man.
Damn it. Somebody said T.O. Morrow. Now I have to go to sleep thinking about that. Oh, ruined my day today.
But the Rogues, I totally don't care about the Mirror Master. I
has
don't.
A villain named the Mirror Master.
1 and 2.
Face palm.
Did you not read Blackest Night Flash?
No.
Read Blackest Night Flash.
We got 2 copies, and one of them was yours.
Well, one of them's sitting on the rack still, so you got time.
Someone must have put it back.
Well, I mean, it was an enjoyable read, but yeah, Mirror Master. If he was never in another story again, it wouldn't bother me. I wouldn't notice.
So, please tell me his powers are more than mirrors.
Well, I mean, no. He can travel into and out of mirrors. He can he can look into a mirror in his own home and appear in any other mirror anywhere.
You know how I'd like to go toe-to-toe with him? Banshee. Just shatter all the mirrors in like a 5-mile radius. And like, what now, bitch? Is he stuck in the mirror? If he goes in the mirror, is he stuck in the mirre? I'm just wondering.
I don't know. I don't remember.
Because that would be ultra lame.
And I'd remember that if he was a better villain. So,
like, I wonder if he goes in a mirror and there's no mirrors besides that mirror within a 5-mile radius.
No, I
exit from that mirror.
I don't think there is a radius.
Oh, okay.
And I'm pretty sure he can get away with any highly reflective surface as well.
Oh, so he could come off of
But he does have a gun.
So he could obviously mess up Bucky Cap a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Shiny tights.
Yeah, seeing as how the guy is just walking around in polished fucking whatever it is.
Yeah. Shiny man.
Yeah, what is that material supposed to be?
I don't know. I think Dazzler made it.
At least it's not bedazzled.
Oh.
Oh. So I don't give a shit about the Mirror Master.
I don't blame you for that one.
The Weather Wizard?
Are you serious?
You can't even believe that these people exist.
The Weather Wizard sounds like a meteorologist with a bad.
It sounds like
nickname.
Dr. Mel.
Yeah, he sounds like just like. And now to the Weather Wizard. It's gonna be cold tonight. Fuck you. I hate my life. I chose meteorology as a career.
Now, see, he could do. He controls weather. He could be another storm.
Yeah,
he could be fairly badass, but he's a moron.
Let me guess. He uses most of his focus creating pointless tornadoes and lightning bolts.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't even remember him ever throwing a lightning bolt.
It's fucking first thing Storm picked up.
Yeah, pretty much. And then there's the Trickster.
Oh no, the Trickster.
Which is just
he gonna trip the Flash?
Toyman Light.
Oh, that's awful.
Yeah,
you could do a lot with the Trickster. The Trickster makes me think of Loki.
You could, yeah. And Mark Hamill played him in the TV series. In the single gayest outfit any human being has ever worn.
Truly, the single gayest. Have you ever seen the music video for "Wake Me Up Before You Go Go" by Wham?
That wasn't strictly gay. It was 80s.
That was pretty gay. I think even people in the 80s were like, "Damn."
No, there were plenty of people in the 80s I saw walking around looked a lot like that.
Did you rock the pink short shorts? I'm not judging you.
Jesus, no. I couldn't afford that shit in the 80s.
I didn't think so.
That stuff got expensive. I saw those kids in high school with that shit.
I was sperm.
You weren't even sperm at that point.
It's true.
All right, this has gotten gross. Who else is?
Let's talk about garbage villains.
Who else is in the rogue? I'm working on the Rogues Gallery right now.
Of Flash, I know.
So there's Mirror Master, Trickster, the fucking Piper, who actually is gay.
Oh, really? Canon?
Yes.
Canon gay?
Yes.
When did they?
That was somewhere in the 90s when things loosened up a little bit.
Literally. Oh, how's your father?
You can't see it, kids, but I'm sure you just heard the tink-tink of me smacking the microphone into my head because I can't believe what came out of his mouth.
He wants to hit me with the microphone. I can see it in his eyes.
This is an expensive mic. I can't be smacking people with it. I'm smacking with your mic.
the shitty mic.
Your mic's heavier.
Ow.
But there's the Rogues Gallery. There's, oh my God, Weathermaster Pied Piper, who has a fucking pan flute that he carries around and leads people and commits crimes with a fucking pan flute.
That's
what else isn't a Captain Cold, who again could be another badass one. You freeze them without regret. You walk in, you steal the entire receipts in the bank, and you wander off.
Yeah.
Sounds
like a good idea.
The cops fuck with you. You freeze them and you smack them with a hammer. Oh look.
Instead,
little bitty cop bits.
Instead, let me guess, he does silly antics with his cold powers.
Well, again, the Rogues Gallery had this horrible habit of Rube Goldbergian fucking plots. Everything was so extra convoluted. Like, if I make a distraction for the Flash on this part of town, and then I make a distraction for the cops in that part of town, then I can do a crime in this part of town, but I'll leave a clue telling both of them where I'm going to be.
Jackasses.
Yes, pretty much. And like I said, the Rev will take issue with that because he's a silly villains. He loves them. He has no problem with them. I can't deal, really.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I really don't. Sometimes a silly villain is fun, but I like silly crazy. I like silly like this person thinks that's okay. That's terrifying. Silly like they're just silly and they think it's okay and and it's serious. That's just upsetting to me.
Tell me, you were going to go off and make a point about something about 5 minutes ago.
I was gonna say, let's trash some more villains. And I know we just spent a lot of time trashing Flash. Flash's villains.
Yeah.
But, I mean, we spent a good amount of time talking about villains with some balls, villains with some plans.
Yeah.
Little crazy villains.
Yeah.
But I'd like to hear, the broadness. Like, name a villain that just absolutely just gives you a little twitch.
Twitch?
Like, frustrating villain.
Like, I don't want to read a book with him
if you
ever
had to read a book with a villain.
I didn't want to.
Yes.
I was like, if he was the villain, I wouldn't buy the book.
Yes.
Ooh.
And you would be thoroughly frustrated if he snuck in somewhere.
Ugh. Many years ago, I might have said the Molecule Man, but every story I've read with him, even though he's a whiny-ass bitch, podcasting on the edge of civility, even though he's a whiny bitch, he's an incredibly powerful one, and he did finally come to terms with both his power and his whininess.
Oh, so he knows how to he knows how to control his power and his whiny.
There was a point
diarrhea.
where he was so afraid of his own power that he couldn't mentally activate it without a wand as a prop to channel it through. There was a block that his own mind created because he was so frightened of his power.
That's lame.
No, actually, that's quite brilliant.
You think?
Yeah,
Really?
I do.
I think that's lame for him, but whoever thought that up is actually, I'll give you that. That's brilliant.
Take a while. Well, actually, I don't know. The Molecule Man has been around since the 60s. Now, whether that part of his, whether that part of his personality has been there since, before, 90, I don't know. I don't know. Because I got introduced to him in Secret Wars.
Okay.
You know what? There you go. I got that one. If I ever see a book with Claw in it, I will not buy it.
There you go. That's
Claw is, oh my god, so lame. I
would
fight
rather read a
you
book
with sound waves.
I'd rather see a book with Claw from Inspector Gadget before.
Oh, that's terrible. That's terrible. Inspector fucking Gadget. But, actually Spider-Man's Rogues Gallery is pretty good.
Yeah. I like Spider-Man's Rogues Gallery because most of them, they're street level.
Yes,
but I like
absolutely.
That. I like that because he's a street level guy.
Is the fucking air on now?
The heat was supposed to be on, but that.
Well, it was at one point, but now that's definitely chill
that
air.
thing has a mind of its own.
Ugh, for God's sake. So anyway.
I mean, with Spider-Man, you've got your bruisers.
Yeah.
Sandman.
Like the Rhino, Sandman.
Venom. Although Venom can fill a couple roles.
That's another one. If Venom is on his own as Eddie Brock, I don't care, because he used to be Eddie Brock.
Yeah.
Everybody knows that. Who doesn't know that? Put down your comics if you didn't know that.
Yeah.
I will never read another Eddie Brock Venom story. I don't give a shit.
That's interesting because I happen to cite Venom as one of my Eddie Brock Venom is one of my more favorite characters of all time.
You're young.
I like it. When I was a little kid, dude, when Venom would come on, whenever Venom was in an episode of Spidey's TV show, dude, I would come running faster than I would for X-Men the TV show, which means something.
The Vulture, though. What is crazier than a geriatric supervillain, man?
Yeah, flying around, Yeah. What now? I've seen Vulture both ways. What do you?
There's
find,
been like 6 Vultures, dude.
I know, but what do you find more acceptable? The tech Vulture, where he's like pretty much wearing like a suit, like a suit of Iron Man armor.
Yeah, which is what he always was.
Or the feathered. Vulture.
Oh no, I like the feathered one better.
Oh, okay.
Because
I'm
I mean,
talking like
because
hard
it
metal.
is it. No, fuck that.
Yeah, me too.
Because
I like the real
his suit
one.
was a power assisted
Yeah.
suit.
It's electronic.
Yeah.
Either way, it's not just like he's not just a Birdman.
Yeah. But the armor thing,
Yeah.
screw the armor
Yeah,
thing.
I hate
they
that.
try to evolve every damn character
annoys
into
me.
armor of some sort at one point or another,
The
and
thing
it
that
always
the
fails.
thing that gets me with the armor, and I'm gonna quote Mr. Nick Fury in Secret War here, but where the fuck are these villains getting this money to keep up on this tech? I mean, they've got billion-dollar alien tech.
They must got that shit on layaway.
Yeah.
Well, the Tinkerer makes a lot of their
he
stuff.
He was doing that for them, at least backed by, Lucia von Bardas during Secret War.
Right.
But, Tinker can only be in so many places at one time. And
Right.
if you have a nice, simple suit that doesn't need upkeep, then it's explainable.
And that reminds me, what do you think of the behind-the-scenes villains?
The
like the Calculator, the Tinkerer,
the
Thinker.
I like a real smart, brain trust kind of thing. I like it when a villain, like one of those regal, strong guys, he doesn't have the fucking time to go doing math. He can do it. He probably could. But he doesn't have the time, so he's going to fucking shell out a little cash.
And he's going to go get the calculator.
He's going to go get,
He's going to go get the mad thinker.
And then before, his enemies know it, they're surrounded by fucking crazy sentinels and bullshit.
Now, that's interesting. Henchmen. What about the sentinels?
I love sentinels.
And the manhunters.
If I could just have a book where fucking the X-Men just go toe-to-toe with sentinels for 400 pages.
Now,
that would be porn for me. Porn!
I'm not reading your copy of that book.
You wouldn't be able to. The pages.
Okay. You're done. You're done. You're off the goddamn podcast.
This is now a Tech Jedi only podcast. I've been
God in heaven. No, I get Danger Dave up in this motherfucker. He's been lobbying for a shot.
Hey, he can have a shot. He'll talk about all the gun books he likes.
Oh, Dave, I love you like a brother and shit. But, well, maybe a retarded nephew. But, but your penchant for violence frightens me sometimes.
This guy.
Don't down the guy. He's a buddy of ours. We know him.
I was just making a point. I was just
yeah.
He thinks that Captain America would be better.
No, fuck
if he
that.
walked
He is
around
goddamn
with a
wrong.
bazooka.
He is
Can
wrong.
Can we talk about
wrong,
Ultimate Avengers
wrong.
right now?
No, we cannot talk about Ultimate Avengers.
We both had that frustrating moment.
I hate that fucking
That book is garbage. Captain America in no way would ever hide himself in front of a kindergarten of children.
No. I don't care what situation.
Especially not when he's being chased by Ultimate Nick Fury, who has a history of being dubious and not giving a shit.
Yes.
And, Ultimate War Machine, who I've never seen before, but apparently is a giant douchebag.
I don't know. I'm giving up the Ultimate books again.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I was done after
I'm going to
Ultimate
finish
2.
the arc because I'm very curious about where Red Skull.
Yeah.
Red Skull.
Red
I'm
Skull's
wondering
a
where
great guy.
Red Skull's going. Especially this Red Skull, because he's a goddamn maniac.
Yeah. This Red Skull really just looks like a crazy skinhead.
Yeah, I don't need that, really. So I'm going to wait till he almost dies or gets away, and then I'm dropping the book, because I don't give a shit.
I don't blame you. That's what I've been reading it for. Because I'm just like, hey, this guy's on every cover of these, or, every variant for this thing, and he hasn't been in the book since the first fucking issue.
Yeah. Yeah, who needs that? I do like the Carlos Pacheco covers, though.
Yeah,
they are good.
Those are good.
But, yeah.
I like the Red Skull.
The Red Skull
I mean
is another of the imperious ones.
Yes.
He's another of the ones that don't give up, but he's also got the thinking thing going on.
Yes. The Red Skull is frightening simply because of the fact that he hasn't quit for 70 fucking years.
Yes. He's got an unlimited potential for brutality and just outright cold cruelty.
Yes.
That's not a bad thing to have in a villain of his level.
Yeah, especially when you're going toe-to-toe with the baddest motherfucker. Just saying.
See, I don't think we really should refer to Cap as the baddest motherfucker, because Cap ain't. He's badass. Make no mistake. That's not what I'm saying.
No, I know you're not saying.
But he's not. No one on the planet would ever refer to Cap as a motherfucker.
Oh no. I agree.
They might say They might say he punched like a motherfucker.
Yeah. I do mean no disrespect to the captain. I would never.
No, the captain's a separate character.
oh. No, don't get started on that. Oh, I knew it was coming. I think we've talked about the captain on every podcast.
We did.
So far.
We went through the uniform one, which reminds me. Say thank you, John.
Thank you, John.
Because he mailed in.
He mailed in.
He said he appreciated our costume episode, and he noted that he really, really enjoys Hal Jordan's outfit. And he notes that it must be actually quite difficult to get across action and motion in that outfit, because there's no capes, there's no accessories.
Yeah, no.
All you really got is a streak of light as he moves.
Yeah.
It's a very good point.
That is a good point.
Very good point. And we're very sorry to hear about your situation there where books aren't as available to you as they used to be. Maybe we should send John a care package.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, you want to do that?
Yeah.
All right. We'll put something together
Whip up
Saturday.
some credit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because apparently it's been, well, I don't want to get too deep into our only responsive fan's life here.
Yeah. We're going to come see you.
I'm not going to Wisconsin in
Want to
winter.
make us dinner, please?
Fuck that. I'm not going to Wisconsin in winter. What are you doing?
Trying to creep him out.
It's working on me. What are you doing?
Exactly. Now wonder how he feels.
You're a frightening, frightening cat, Warhammer.
Well aware. Well aware of that.
But you know what? We're going to take a quick break, and then I want to talk about the Hulk villains. I like Hulk villains a lot. This is going to be interesting. So we'll be right back.
Smoke break.
We're back.
And we're back.
Did you miss us?
I bet you did.
We missed you.
Kisses. Oh.
Hulk villains.
Hulk villains.
Such a weird mix.
He has the strangest villains because most of the time, the villains of a character are like the opposite of that person's personality.
Right.
You know, like Captain America stands for America, and you know all the wonderfulness that is this
the
country.
Ideals of justice and blah, blah,
his,
blah.
so his villains, you know,
are all fascists or communists.
Exactly.
Or anarchists like Flag Smasher.
Yes. You know,
He's
and
one of the lamer
Iron Man is, you know, the light of how technology can be used for good.
Right.
And a lot of his villains are technology being wasted.
Right.
But the Hulk is just brute strength. The Hulk. I mean,
now there is an opposite of the Hulk.
Yeah.
The leader.
Yeah.
He's there. He's a hyper intelligent one. He's another planner.
Yeah.
I like the leader. I've always liked the leader. I thought it was weird when Peter David mutated his head though.
Yeah, that was.
But it kind of made, in a very lame fanboy way, you know, fanboy logic being what it is.
Yeah.
It did make more sense than just, you know, a square head a foot taller than it should be. But it was the 60s. What were you going to do?
Yeah.
Even though he looked just like Hector Hammond and just like Sinestro. But then you get the really incredibly lame Hulk villains.
Just
like
pure.
the UFOs, which I couldn't believe they brought back.
When did they bring them back?
It was in Alpha.
I must have, because I stopped halfway through that book because I had to do something.
I could not believe the UFOs came back. I'm like, the motherfucking UFOs!
Damn.
They haven't been used to any real effect ever.
That's impressive.
And then they got Zags.
No,
it's like 5 Z's, a couple of A's, and a bunch of X's. How the fuck do you say that?
I think you're not supposed to. It's supposed to keep you occupied.
Is it supposed to just sound like an arc of electricity? Zags.
Yeah, I think all superheroes just sound like their powers. Superheroes and villains, just their names.
All right,
just,
so Scott Summers would be Zark.
yeah,
Wolverine would be
Snicked.
Snicked. Spidey would be Thwip. It's so bad.
Bamf.
But who else is a Hulk villain?
Thunderbolt Ross.
Thunderbolt Ross.
I like that guy. I like the fact that
He became Zax for a while.
did he?
Yep.
I did not know that.
In the Peter David run, yep.
I like him as a general though. I like him as just because in the back of my head that's very believable. I think that if something like the Hulk existed, there would be someone in the military that was like, I want it.
Oh yeah.
I fucking want it.
This is just a good fucking thing. There ain't such things.
Oh, absolutely. I would be rooting for that guy. I hate to say it.
But then who's more? Hi, how about some English?
Hi, I'm English. Nice to
What
meet you.
are more Hulk villains? Because in Alpha they got MODOK. He's not.
No.
He's never been
A Hulk
I mean,
main.
he's been in Iron Man more than Hulk.
Mhm.
So
And Cap.
and Cap, yes, because of AIM.
Aim. You can be a dork and a henchman. Come on, who wants that? Hydra, they just brainwash your ass. Come on now. This is a win-win.
The Red Ghost. He was more a Fantastic Four villain, but he's shown up in Hulk. And I love the Leader's a great one.
Yeah.
Thunderbolt Ross is a great one. Zax, fuck Zax.
Yeah. Kind of lame. If you don't have a
The
real
UFOs,
name,
just give me a break, man. It's just,
really?
we have the rainbow guy. We have the big broody guy. Like we're just a random group of morons with strange powers. It's
Name.
They never did anything for me, and I doubt that they're going to do anything new and unique in this one either. So
There's only so much you can do with a character. With a group of characters, even.
yeah, because there's this
Unless you
formula of
completely
roles that
reinvent
nobody wants to break away from.
Yeah. Oh, well, they don't really act any different than this because that's the way they are.
Yeah.
So, sometimes you got to reinvent a character, else they can't live.
Yeah,
I
pretty
hate
much.
to say it.
And how are you going to reinvent the UFOs? What are you going to do? Make them more badass? That would just be
Pointless.
so out of line with
Yeah.
precedent. And the Hulk's the ultimate badass anyway. Who cares what they're going to throw at him? The Hulk is just going to get madder.
Yeah.
And
Just gonna
beat you more. That's all. There's nothing going to happen, man. So Hulk villains.
A few minutes ago, you said Sinestro. I dig Sinestro.
You'd what?
I dig Sinestro.
Okay. I swear to God, you said I'd do Sinestro, and
No,
I'm like,
I'm
this
not into-
this
not into
podcast
red
is
dudes.
over.
Not into red dudes. I like Sinestro simply for the fact that I just feel like he looks like he shouldn't be such a badass.
And he's
But he totally
horribly
is.
badass.
Totally is.
He's
Like-
a cold planner. He's brutal and cruel.
And he can go toe to toe.
And the regal imperialistic kind of guy as well. He's a full package.
Yeah.
I'm just glad we don't have to look at his full package.
I'm happy too. Again, not into red dudes.
So
So no red schlong zone.
we're done here.
How many times is... I'm not going to get the Tech Jedi to say that.
No, we're
That's
going
my plan.
No, when this podcast is over, I'll be packing up and punching you in the face.
It's worth it. It's worth it.
What else you want to say about villains?
How about Sauron? Let's get Sauron in one
Oh
of these
God,
things.
which Sauron? Sauron
The
or
pterodactyl.
Sauron? Oh, that guy, so lame.
Yeah, I know. I wanted to make fun of him.
So make fun of. Go
Just a
to town. Just be back before the
Pterodactyl
street lights
man.
come on.
pterodactyl man.
Yeah, it's terrible. I've never read a story. I was like, damn, that was a good Sauron story. Never.
Generally, I
25 years, never read.
I find the Savage Land to be a little disappointing most of the time. I
Really?
hate to say it. Which is upsetting because I love me some dinosaurs. I feel like more comics should have dinosaurs. Like, Batman got so much more credit in my eyes when I found out he had a T-Rex in the cave.
God,
And then I lost some
you're
respect.
a lunatic.
And then I lost some respect when I found out it wasn't alive.
Oh, for God's sake! You really think Batman would keep a live T-Rex in the Batcave?
Tell me there's one villain whose
What the hell would he
weakness-
fill it?
Feed
it. What would he feed it?
One villain whose weaknesses was T-Rexes. Batman had a T-Rex. Dude's got a plan every time.
There's got to be another villain whose weakness is counting money. Give him the giant penny.
That's true. That's what they're for. They're not actually, for any kind of sentimental value. They're just for use against villains that haven't come out yet.
You know who's a character? I have no idea who his enemies are.
Who?
I have no idea who the hell Black Panther's main adversary is.
Ulysses S. Claw.
No.
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Fucking dude, boned Wakanda.
When?
Like 50s. Not really. Like 60s. That was a brain fart. Long fucking time ago.
Okay, I
No,
finally learned something today.
When Black Panther first came out, that was his villain, and then they're like, nobody really gives a shit about Wakanda, which is not true. I do, but
I don't mind Wakanda.
yeah, me too.
I don't mind Black Panther.
I guess
just...
they just assumed that they would rather him just share Avengers villains because they wanted to make characters that he had some kind of investment with, but
yeah, I can see that, but. No, the Claw is one of those ones. That's the one I mentioned earlier.
Yeah,
I don't care about sound. I'm fighting you with sound.
Mm.
Woo! Don't care.
After that, I can't name a Black Panther villain.
No, I don't think there are
I don't think
any.
people mess with Wakanda. It's a pretty fucking terrifying place.
Well, I mean, it's got all that vibranium. They got some hardcore weapons.
Latveria,
Yeah,
Wakanda,
yeah.
and Atlantis. Three places you don't.
Well, no, you can fuck with Atlantis pretty effectively. They've done it.
Oh no, they've done it. But I mean, I'll rephrase that. 3 places you don't want to fuck with because you can ruin them. I mean, some people who are listening to this may have read Namor's story during the initiative.
Yeah,
but they fucked with Atlantis, and they got it.
They got
That's all I'm
stomped.
saying. I mean, in a series of 6 issues. Namor successfully destroyed, or whooped the shit out of Wolverine, whooped the shit out of Venom,
yeah.
Stopped a rebellion in Atlantis, blew up Atlantis, and got all his people underground, and escaped Atlantis. Not bad.
All right. Well, I've suddenly run dry, so we should go for our piece de resistance.
Oh no. Dun dun dun.
Go ahead.
I would like for you to tell me who you think the most globally accepted #1 fucking everybody kisses his ass villain is in comics. #1. I share a name with Doom, and that makes me happy.
Doom, he's got his own damn country.
How do you top that?
And people would say we top that by having a satellite made out of an entire goddamn asteroid. And I say, well, that thing toppled to the ground.
Yes. I'm sure a lot of people here that are listening, after hearing me for the last couple podcasts, are probably going to say,
all 6 of them.
Here comes the X-Fan, here comes Magneto. Actually, no. I'm not going to say Magneto. I have to agree with the Tech Jedi here. Dr. Doom.
You can do it. Nothing wrong with that. I'm the host.
Oh, no. It's just a fact. My friends always get completely blindsided by that because they think I'm going to say Magneto, but
they're dumb.
Yeah,
they're foolish.
Yeah.
All right, here's the thing. Doom took over the entire planet, and then gave it up because he was bored.
Yeah, I mean
because he was
won.
bored.
He won. Most supervillains, especially the ones that are up for grabs in this contest. What's their plan?
Take over the world.
He did it. He won. He beat the game.
And then he's like, I ain't got nothing to do. Fuck it, I set everybody free.
Yeah. Fuck that
And I
shit.
try again, see what happens. Then he did that, in the original graphic novel, back when graphic novels meant being a fucking novel with graphics in it, from
Not just collecting 6 issues of
87,
Tap Dance
I
with
want to
Spider-Man.
say. 88 at the latest. Emperor Doom. Badass story. So good. You guys got to go to eBay now and find yourself a copy of Emperor Doom. The Purple Man, there's fucking purple again. What is
It's a
it with purple?
conspiracy. It's a conspiracy.
There's something crazy about purple.
Purple gives
There's-
you superpowers.
The dye industry wants everything to be purple. That didn't make any sense, and it wasn't funny.
No, I think I could buy it. You know, there's some guy in
That-
purple. Some guy who owns Purple Dye Industries. Said, you know, he snuck Marvel a little money, snuck DC a little money, and said, just
Throw
a
purple
little
in as
purple.
many costumes as you can.
preferably on the badasses.
So, the Purple Man got captured by Doom, and I'm skipping over a lot of plot, but he got captured by Doom and put into a crystal that amplified his purple pheromone powers to control the planet. And he was done. And nobody was able to resist him. There was one, oh shit, who was it? Now I can't remember. Somebody resisted him, and he went around and... God, that's an awful long pause. I'm going to have to cut that out. At 105:30. I think it was Clint Barton.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty sure. In one of the few shining moments Clinton Barton has ever had in his goddamn life. I mean, it's Hawkeye. Who cares?
Yeah,
Come on. So,
much better Avengers to pick from.
and their justification for that was the concentration needed to be such a skilled marksman allowed him to break the Purple Man's spell. And apparently you only need to break the spell once, and then you're fine.
You're not constantly like, you shit, cock
So-
balls.
He went to... Who are you, Cabo now?
Yes, he's rubbed off on me.
Shit, fuck, cock, balls.
Earmuffs.
So he went around and he found Cap and he fought Cap for about a page and a half and was able to get Cap to break the conditioning. And they weren't initially able to get Iron Man to break the conditioning, but of course they did. And they got the Wasp because the Wasp had to concentrate to shrink down. And, you know, flimsy excuses for breaking the concentration, but they got
But otherwise it would be, 100 pages of Doom being like,
I'm bored.
erect a statue of my penis.
All right, maybe we're getting a little bit on the edge. As Matt, no, we're over the top with the, genitalia references today.
I'm sorry.
I think we're done with those.
I'm sorry.
We're done with those. Even I mean, you've heard the things that come out of my mouth, and I'm getting
Yeah.
sick of it. So
Sorry. A lot of genitalia references from me. It's just a
it's a frightening
mutant
thing.
ability.
So, where the hell was I? They got the Avengers back.
Yes.
And they go to fight him, except Doom's got the entire world in his hand, so they have to face off against God knows how many henchmen, military men, Doom bots, etc., and even Namor. And he's just like, you know what? Let him win. I need another challenge.
Yeah.
This ain't enough.
Boring.
I'll go back to my country. I'll plot something else. He did it!
Yeah. Hey,
In
Osborn.
70 years, everyone has wanted to take over the goddamn world or destroy it, which doesn't make any kind of sense. Because if you have if you're going to destroy the world, you're going to die too.
Yeah.
If you have a death wish, just put a 22 to your mouth, okay?
Yeah, really.
Call it
Go
even.
for it.
Destroying the world is a dumb plot device.
Yes.
It's
I hate that.
it's just absolutely. I've never understood why somebody would want to destroy the world. Blackmail a country, nuke a country, sure.
Yeah. Like
You
maybe
got the
if
rest of the planet
If you're
left.
if you're from another planet, maybe.
Yeah, if you're
And you
from
wanna
another planet
destroy our planet.
and you want to you destroy Earth, you still need a reason for it
Yeah.
beyond I'm a Cree and you've offended my Cree sensibilities. We're gonna annihilate your race. Now that's not good enough for me.
No.
If a planet is dying, like the Skrull planet was, that's a valid reason for invasion. That's fine. But man, he won. He won.
Fucking
He had it.
yeah. Done.
And then his intellect and his ambition were so great that he willingly gave it up so he could try again.
He started the game over on hard. He beat the game. He got to the credits. He turned it off and selected hard difficulty. He was like, "Fuck that! I'm not just gonna take my win."
Luthor didn't do that. Luthor got the presidency by trickery, and then his unchecked ambition toppled himself. His unjustified and xenophobic hatred of Superman and metas in general. He let it get the better of him. He failed himself.
And Osborn's failing desperately right now.
Oh yeah, he's teetering on the brink, man. He's gonna snap like a cheap pencil, and he's gonna fall, and then Dark Reign will be over, and then Norman Osborn.
This just turned into Sanford and Son podcast.
All right, that's enough of that. No, Osborn is going to be no better off than he was.
No.
And he had all that power in his hand. He could have lived the rest of his life in control, in complete luxury.
With lots of statues of himself.
Yeah, I know where you were about. Yeah. But, and that's another villain. Quick digression. Hair Star from Preacher. One more genitalia reference. One more. At the end of the story, after Hair Star had his genitalia bitten off by an attack dog, he just went, he was always nuts, but he just went totally batshit. And he's a really good villain. He's a calculating, cold. He's so good. I need you to read his origin story.
Ooh.
Yes, it was good. It was so very good. He was trying to kill Jesse Custer for a long time since he couldn't take him over and rule the planet with him as a figurehead. And then he got his junk bitten off. And he told his assistant when she questioned him about all the revenge that he said, "This is no longer about bringing peace to the world and being in charge of it. It's about my penis."
You know you're a good villain when your driving factor is your driving factor.
But anyway, yeah, even Hair Star wouldn't have done that if Hair Star was in charge. Boom. He'd have been like, "Yes, I'm in charge, and all will be well, and there will be no more children dying, and we'll have order, pure order." He would never have given it up. He'd have fought tooth and nail.
I can't really think of a supervillain that might, except for probably the Joker. But actually, maybe
it's never really.
If he could torment Batman for the rest of eternity as the ruler of the world, he might.
No, he'd get bored with that too.
Yeah, too easy.
Yeah, he'd be like.
But he wouldn't.
The next day, he'd be like,
Yeah.
"I don't have anything to steal."
Yeah. He wouldn't aspire for
There's
that
nothing to get
with.
away
That's the problem.
with killing. I mean, I don't have to get away with anything.
He wouldn't even have started with that. Aspired. That's
Yep.
just if suddenly he was placed in the position for some.
Yeah, because despite anything else, all his stuff for 30 years had been very personal.
Yes.
Ever since he shot Barbara Gordon in the spine, everything's been that was insanely personal.
Oh yeah.
He walked right into their home and bam.
In his Hawaiian shirt.
Yeah.
And hat, it's sick.
Well, I mean, that's Alan Moore for you.
Yeah,
what are you going to do?
No, kind of that way.
But Doom's our guy.
Yeah. The thing I like about Doom the most is, hypothetically, you're a superhero. Or no, you know what? Back up. Hypothetically, you're a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent.
All right.
You're putzing around. You're investigating a little bit. All of a sudden, there's a little breadcrumb trail leading over to Latveria.
Sure.
Sneaking around. So, you go up to Mr. Nicholas Fury. You say, Nick. Because I'm sure you can address him like that. I wouldn't be too
It would be Colonel Fury.
Nicholas! No. Colonel Fury, we've got some evidence that possibly Latveria... Stop right there. You can go talk to the Avengers or Fantastic Four or the X-Men because we're done.
What?
And you're a little confused.
Yeah.
So he goes over, and end result, you confront Doom. You confront Doom about his mischievous ways. You want to bring it up with the UN? Because I'm a member. I mean, what other supervillain can really say that he's... You can't just walk into Latveria and arrest Dr. Doom.
No, you can't.
It's a country. I mean,
that would be an international incident.
Exactly.
That would be war.
Yes.
Assaulting a head of state? Oh no.
Oh no.
Sorry about that. And they don't even have to have diplomatic ties because they can say, they violated our sovereignty.
Yep.
And,
it's brilliant.
Here's a couple of battalions of Doombots to take over D.C. Have a good day.
And the worst part is...
Can you see Doom going...
Yeah, I can. Just like, as long as Reed was watching. And another thing, his people love him.
Yes, because it's the trains run on time.
Yeah. Exactly.
And he doesn't need... He's always provided for him.
Yeah.
Because they really are his people. They're the they're the gypsies that he was born from.
Yeah.
Latvians gave them crap, and when he was in charge, now the gypsies are the predominant ethnic group in Latveria. Which is an incredibly weird thing to say.
Yeah.
The predominant ethnic group in...
Gypsies.
It's like, what are we going to talk about Tutsis next?
If you had told me that we were going to get into Tutsis at the beginning of this, I would not believe you.
Not Tutsis. Tutsis.
Tutsis. Pronunciation.
But that... I don't know how anyone can not like Doom.
No.
I don't know how anybody can argue that there is any better villain than Doom.
I can't.
Because I'll turn it right around. Somebody give me a villain they think is better than Doom. Why? How? Not even the whole, "Oh, you think Doom would beat Magneto in a fight? He just crushed Doom with it." And it's like, yeah, well, maybe.
Actually, I do remember reading a book where Magneto and Doom, they had teamed up for a little while.
Yeah, it was probably supervillain team up.
Magneto being Magneto, at the end, when his goal was almost achieved, he turned to Doom and said, "Your usefulness has expired," and he closes his hand.
Yeah.
And then it cuts to Magneto's face with a shocking look on it, and it just cuts back to Doom with a little bubble. Ceramic-laced armor. The ceramics in his armor held the metal together. He had like his yeah. And the worst part is, Magneto couldn't believe that Doom betrayed him long before by imagining that he would go after him.
Oh yeah.
And then the best part is, Doom just looks at him and says, "I would have done it." He didn't even go after him. He said, "Just, you're not going to kill me?" Nope. Doom, that's the thing. He's the thinker. You can just be the global badass who controls everything, but if you're an idiot, someone like Magneto could take you out.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, come on.
Man, there's lots of good villains. There's lots of villains I love reading. But I mean, really, who could?
I don't think
it can't be done.
I don't think so.
It can't be done. I'm standing here. I'm sitting. I'm standing here now. And telling you there is no better villain than Doom. I don't care. Bring him on. Onslaught?
If you want to write in. And you give us a detailed description of who you think might be better than Doom.
Yes, don't just be a random fucking fanboy.
Don't just write in and then just write, "Well, actually, and blah, 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 blah," and because I like him.
Issue 422 of Action Comics, we see that, Reactron took out Superman by being smart and with kryptonite. don't care.
No.
I mean,
Did
Doom,
Reaction
you know what?
win?
Doom could synthesize kryptonite.
Oh, definitely. I would like to see that done.
He could synthesize kryptonite. He could do it.
Now, I would actually like to see a little. You know what I'd like to see? I'd like to see Batman not versus like a fist fight Doom.
Yeah.
I'd like to see Batman try to take Doom down, like
Intellectually.
intellectually
With
yes.
planning.
Yeah, because I think
And panache.
Doom is the only person who is more paranoid than Batman. Like, I'm pretty sure that Doom has a Batman contingency plan. You know that's not our character, right? Shut up, Joe Quesada. Shut the fuck up.
That's awesome.
Are we going to get sued for that? Not really. Just don't put it in the book.
Oh, I'm open to debate about this. I am.
Yeah.
I'll listen to any argument you want to say that Doom
maybe we
is
missed
insufficient
somebody.
against your
Yeah.
favorite character.
Yeah, maybe. I don't think so, but maybe something.
And I don't need it to devolve into, a Red Sox fucking Yankees argument, because that's just horseshit. Because everybody thinks that their guy is the best.
Yeah.
But
I just want
we've
solid
seen
proof.
over 40
Exactly.
years how Doom can get out of fucking anything, weasel into anything,
I mean,
and he went to hell for fuck's sake.
yeah.
He freed his mom. He did it in a way his mom didn't like, so his mom said fuck off. But that's beside the point. He faced the greatest sorcerers and mystics of the entire planet. Went to hell with Doctor
Hell.
Strange. Beat on Mephisto.
I hope
Outfoxed
he-
Mephisto.
I hope he didn't want to accept Doctor Strange's help.
Oh no, he planned it.
Oh, okay, he wanted to go with Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
Okay. It just would seem Doom-esque that Strange was like, "Let me come with you."
Well,
and Doom was like, "Fuck you, buddy."
Doom has a mystic component to him, but
Yeah.
he's never been.
Strictly-
Doctor Strange noticed that he was really just mimicking what other mystics were doing in the battle, and his armor was analyzing their attacks and structures and incantations, and he was just repeating them at opportune moments to beat them. So he's never been, he's never been Sorcerer Supreme material. But I mean, you got technology, you got drive, you got ambition, you got the resources of an
You do have
entire
the
prosperous
Yeah.
country,
And you do have the magic. I mean, he does.
and you got the magic. How the fuck are you gonna? The only way you can beat Doom, you can simultaneously stroke and insult his ego.
Yeah.
And then you can play him into a situation where he can either lose face or win.
And if he loses face, you had better count your days.
Yes.
Because he may be intangible from the regular law of things, but you better not think that there's not somebody in his payroll that can take you down.
That's right.
Or B, you just look like an ass because you set Doom up to lose and he won. So now, and guess what? He probably knows.
Doom's the guy, man.
And you're right. This really better not turn into a Yankees Red Sox thing, because I must admit, I love Magneto. I'm the big X fan, but I accept that.
I have
Dr.
been
Doom.
I have been a Magneto fan for a very long time. He's got a very rich and deep backstory that at points I didn't agree with and thought was kind of pointless. But then he had the alcoholic phase just after he took over training the New Mutants, where he felt very ashamed of himself for not handling their training and safety properly. So I mean, that shows a humanity to the guy.
Yeah.
So without making him a total pussbag.
Yeah. He's not like, oh, weh, weh. It's more just, because he's always been a, don't want to say caring person. I mean, he's always had strong feelings for mutant kind.
Yeah.
He's not just, I'm so mad at Spider-Man that I'm going to do this huge convoluted plan.
Yes.
If Charles Xavier's way worked, he would be on board with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
He just didn't believe that it worked. And
Nah.
that's I like that I like. I like a character whose drive is to make things work.
Yeah.
Not
Order.
yeah.
Which Norman kind of wants, but he wants order on his terms.
Yes.
And you can make the argument that Doom got his own country because he wanted order on the way he wanted order.
Yeah.
But his people are happy.
Yeah. He cares about his people. It would be one thing if Doom was like, my people are just a tool.
Mm-hmm.
But, when it comes down to it, I mean, if someone insults the people of Latveria, he's ready to, their fists to cuffs. Right then and there. Which is respectable for a villain. I mean, he's not a despicable character. He's just a badass.
We didn't cover any of the independents.
No, we didn't.
You know why?
Why?
Name one Image villain.
Plutonian?
That's Boom.
Is it?
Yep.
Is it Boom?
Yep.
Damn, I figured a book that good.
It's very difficult, isn't it?
Yeah.
Who was
Zombies?
Well, let's go like this. Let's get very specific. Does Savage Dragon have a recurring villain?
Bad jokes. Bad jokes?
That's a downfall. It's not necessarily a villain.
I know.
Does Shadowhawk have a recurring foil?
I don't know if I should be embarrassed or proud of myself that I've never read a Shadowhawk.
All right. Spawn.
Okay.
Who is his greatest enemy?
Himself.
No. Violator. But Violator has always been more of a parody of a villain than a useful character villain, in my opinion. And you know what? That opinion is correct. On an absolute level, it's a correct opinion.
And any other opinions are wrong.
Now, who else? Villain. I mean, seriously, Image. Where are the Image villains?
Village Immin. I really don't
Come on.
know.
The Omega Spawn that they just introduced
the Omega
17
Spawn.
years after the company started? I don't think so.
The Omega Spawn?
Omega Spawn.
Omega Spawn. I think that's the worst thing I've ever heard.
I really cannot name a single Image villain worth talking about. I can't.
Is it a giant shark man?
There is a giant shark man.
That's interesting. I like shark man. Is that Supergirl?
What? Supergirl?
It really looked like Supergirl.
Just so you know, I'm flipping through Image United because I'm desperately trying to find an Image villain. And it's not working. I mean, aside from Omega Spawn, who just started, that's not Supergirl.
Oh,
It's just very much like Supergirl, but it ain't Supergirl.
I didn't think so, literally. I was just like, copyrighted?
No, seriously, who else? There was Jim Valentino had Shadowhawk. Tom McFarlane had Spawn. Mark Silvestri had Cyberforce. Who were their villains?
I've never read a Cyberforce book in my life. I'm not going to lie to you.
Savage Dragon was just a cop. Whatever happened, happened. There were a couple of villains. I don't remember their names.
Now, I think this really homes in on why there is such a thing as a big two. I mean, they would probably be bigger companies if they had better.
No, and
villains.
see, that's the thing that drives me nuts about the early Image stuff. They talked long and loudly that they had been holding back their best creations because they wanted control over them. And that's a reasonable thing.
Yeah.
There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But it also calls to mind, well, if you weren't doing your best work, why was I reading any of your work?
Yeah.
You know, it may not have been the stuff you wanted to keep for yourself, but if you weren't putting out 100%, Shouldn't I feel like a fool for backing you at all?
Why would I put out 100% of the comic, like pay
of my dough?
Yeah. Why wasn't your comic 80% as expensive as everyone else's comics if you're only putting 80% of the effort?
That's what I'm saying. And what do they do the second they break away? More characters exactly like the ones they were working on.
And they still hold.
Except they got the royalties this time.
Yeah. So
whoopity crap.
So now they're making more money.
Whoopity crap. Don't care. But I'm probably wrong. There's probably dozens of Savage Dragon villains. Shadowhawk probably had this one guy who came around issue 6 after I gave up. And has been in every single issue since, and Shadowhawk doesn't know how to define his world without that villain. But I don't know it.
And you were not convinced to stay on the book long enough.
No.
Which, that's not your fault.
He broke backs every couple of panels. Whoopity crap.
Woo.
And like normal, there's arguments to be made on either side, but you think about it on an absolute level. Seriously, tell me an Image villain that's been around since the beginning that anyone cares about. I mean, Violator might be funny, but is he really invaluable to anything that happens in Spawn?
I truly can't name one. I mean, it might just be my
well, I mean,
my exposure to Image is really
yes,
low,
that's very good. That's an excellent way to say it, because I was going to say inexperience.
I mean,
yeah, you got me. I don't know of any. I don't. I'm sorry to reiterate it so many times, but
that's interesting that neither of us can do it. I mean,
there's got to be.
No, there's
couple.
probably some. There's probably some hardcore Image fans out there that have read more books and have an idea of what's going on.
And you know what? I would love to know that.
Yeah.
Because I've stood here making statements, and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong.
Yeah.
I'll admit it. I don't give a shit.
I know nothing.
I'm not anonymous.
I know nothing of installing toilets. It is impossible to install toilets. Write in and tell me if it is not impossible to.
All right, that's just goofy.
Making a comparison.
All right, we're creeping up on the second longest episode we've ever had, so we're going to call this one even for the night. All right, kids, remember, March 14th, Southern Connecticut Comics. Hi, god damn, there's something wrong with my English today.
Hi, English.
The Southern Connecticut Comic Convention. If you're in
SoCo Comic Con.
If you're in Southern Connecticut in March, come by.
Or Northern
Connecticut. You can be on the podcast. You can argue with us. We can slap you around intellectually. We can have all kinds of fun. There's going to be lots of stuff to see.
Free bikini waxes.
That's not true. There's no bikini waxing being done.
I
know. We may get a couple of booth babes. We don't know. It might be cool. Let's see who we can finagle into that.
If you happen to be an attractive female
in Connecticut, because we ain't paying for the airfare,
who's not asking for too much money,
we would love to get you into a Supergirl outfit or Miss Marvel.
Rogue.
Either way.
Rogue.
God damn, you and Rogue.
I wish.
Oh, stop. You're being a fanboy.
Hey.
Wait a minute.
There's never been a superhero woman that you're like.
And anyway, you can check all the details out. God, I can't speak for anything tonight, can I? I do apologize for that. You can check us out at sococon.themeangeek.com. Don't forget to mail us. All our contact information is in the outro in just a couple of seconds. Other than that, have a great night.
Good night.
I just said up yours, baby.
The Mean Geek with Victor Warhammer is recorded live on Thursdays at Kurt's Comics in Collector's Cave in Branford, Connecticut. In Connecticut, it's Kurt's. You can find us on iTunes, Podcast Alley, Facebook, Comic Space, our own site, www.themeangeek.com. You may subscribe to us through RSS, and we are a proud member of the Comics Podcast Network. You can contact us directly through email at themeanergeek@gmail.com.